Hi, I'm Kirsten Chick, author of Nutrition Brought to Life, and this podcast is a companion to the book. You can listen as you read Nutrition Brought to Life, or before as a kind of preview, or after you finish the book as a refresher. Either way, I hope this helps you make some small changes that make a big difference in your life. Hi again, Kirsten Chick here. This episode is based on Chapter 2 of my book, Nutrition Brought to Life. Chapter 2 is called Digestion, a brief look inside, and it's just that. I talk much more about digestion and how to support it later on. So this chapter is really about familiarising yourself with the nuts and bolts of how it works. Your digestive system is a little more complex than you might think. You have your mouth, where food enters with its teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. Then you swallow the hopefully well-chewed food down into your esophagus or food pipe, and this carries it down to your stomach, which isn't in your tummy, but higher up and over towards your left. Then after a bit of processing, it enters your small intestine, which is actually very long, and then your large intestine, also known as your colon. What hasn't been digested and absorbed is now formed into poo and excreted through your rectum and anus. So mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus, out. This whole system is technically outside your body, like a hole through a donut. None of the food you eat gets absorbed into your actual flesh and blood unless it's fully broken down, unless you have leaky gut syndrome, but we'll talk about that another time. Breaking your food down efficiently and effectively involves your mouth, stomach, and small intestine. But first of all, your brain. When you think about food, ever notice you might start salivating? That's because thinking about food triggers your digestive processes. So does looking at it and smelling it. So before that fork or spoon is anywhere near your mouth, you can help switch your digestive system on by paying attention to what you're about to eat, instead of the telly or your computer screen or any other distractions. Once the food is in your mouth, the tastes and textures send more information to your brain, which triggers activity in your mouth, stomach, and beyond. Some of the saliva that you release contains enzymes to help process any carbohydrates in your food. The longer you chew your food, the more access it has to those enzymes, and also the more chewed up your food will be. Your stomach will have a much easier time of it if you chew your food thoroughly. Chewing also stimulates the muscles along your esophagus and intestines to keep squeezing, which moves everything along, from the food going down your food pipe to the poo moving through your colon. So chewing can actually be really great for constipation too. There are valves. I can never say that word properly. There are valves at the top and bottom of your stomach, responsible for letting food in and out and preventing the very strong acid in your stomach from burning your esophagus and small intestine. If you slouch while or after you eat, these valves can't close properly, so you might get heartburn. So remember to sit up straight and chew your food. Heard that one before? Your stomach. So we're at your stomach now. Your stomach starts to break your proteins down. So we've had the carbohydrates being broken down in your mouth. Now in the stomach, we start to break your proteins down, and it churns everything into a kind of acidic soup. And then as it enters your small intestine, it gets sprayed with fluids produced by your pancreas and liver. The fluids from your pancreas are alkalizing, so help to quench the fire of the stomach acid. They also contain enzymes that finish breaking down the carbohydrates and proteins and start to break down the fats and oils. First of all, though, the fats and oils need to be emulsified or separated into tiny droplets that can mix into water. For this, you need bile, which is produced by the liver, then stored in the gallbladder if you have one, until it's needed in your small intestine. Your small intestine also produces its own enzymes, and it has tiny bristle-like projections on its lining that absorb all the nutrients. Everything else, including fiber, gets sent through to the large intestine or colon. This is where most of your gut microbiome is. We'll look at that in later chapters. A lot of water is absorbed in your colon too, and then the resulting, hopefully well-formed poo is squeezed out. So hopefully that's built up a picture for you of what happens in your digestive system. Once you digest and absorb your food, one of the things you want to do is get the energy from it. The next chapter is about just that. In the meantime, take a few moments to send some appreciation to your digestive system for everything it does. And sit up straight and chew your food. Thanks for listening to the Nutrition Brought to Life podcast. There's also a Facebook group you can join called Nutrition Brought to Life Podcast Community, where you can share useful insights and recipes, ask questions, and get more support on your nutrition journey. If you haven't read it yet, there's so much more in the book, Nutrition Brought to Life, as well as all the scientific references and some glorious pictures. And you can find out more about me at kirstenchick.com.